Hello everyone, this is Chris, and when spawning into the majority of seeds inside of Bedrock Edition, spawns usually look pretty unextraordinary, but that's because some of the more important and impressive things are surrounding the spawn area. We will of course get to this surrounding area of spawn right after we type in the seed numbers, which is that on screen right there, and we talk about the spawn itself, which is just this small little plains on the coast of a pretty big ocean area, right next to a pretty decent forest with quite a decent amount of pumpkin patches. So in case you are looking for pumpkins pretty early on, then it doesn't seem to be too incredibly hard to get them. But some of the more interesting things serve in a circle-like pattern around spawn. And I guess we should probably head out this way first to this one island, because just at this one island is a village right here, and it's always interesting seeing these types of spawning algorithms happening, with just a village just settling itself right down in the center of this island, which is right down in the center of an ocean. And apart from the swim or the boat ride, this might actually be the perfect place to settle down in, because obviously there's always this chance for food, for materials, and for other types of things like that to spawn into, to get yourself started in and get yourself prepared for the journey ahead inside this world. Heading off from that one island, we have these icebergs sitting itself right the way around here, which actually sprawls across pretty decently far right into the other type of rare commodity or rare biome right here. Yeah, we have a Mesa Badlands biome. What is that? Maybe 600 or 700 blocks away from spawn. The render distance makes it kind of hard to tell, but yeah, you get yourself this pretty decently sized Badlands right here. So in case you want some red sand or a lot of terracotta, then yeah, this seed definitely has you covered. And something else this seed has you covered by is a village, and not only a village, a mesa village. A village which never spawns in naturally, which means we have this desert village which just so happened to spawn in pretty much all of it inside of it. Usually the well has to be situated inside of a desert or inside of its particular biome, but for some odd reason, every single bit of this one village just seems to happen to spawn inside of a mesa biome. And if you ignore the fact that this is sadly a dead village, this is actually a pretty uncommon thing. I don't think I've seen something quite like this happen before, where pretty much every single bit of the village just happens to spawn inside of a mesa. So having a Mesa Badlands biome is cool and all, but something that is arguably even cooler is maybe a jungle which just so happens to spawn right next to it. So in case you want some jungle wood or some bamboo or all that other types of loveliness you can find inside of a jungle, then yeah, this seed also has you covered. This seed also has you covered in terms of mesa mine shafts which happen to spawn inside of here, but because this one happens to spawn right on the edge of the mesa, that means it was able to cross this little body of water and into the jungle, which means we have a jungle surface mine shafts in some way, which is quite the uncommon thing. You don't really see something like this happen, where you see just minecart rails just sitting itself right in the middle of a bamboo forest. But you know what? The odder things you find inside of seeds like this, the more interesting and the more fun, honestly, it is to see them. Especially when you find floating vines. This is kind of a little bit cursed. And I think this is the only part I could find that is underground. And let me just say that, you know, something like this just fits. Something like this should definitely happen in normal survival Minecraft, where we just find a legit above ground mine shaft just spawning itself right here, because it just feels like something about this just makes it feel like it fits in so well. And something else that fits in well inside the jungle is obviously a jungle temple sitting itself right here, right next to this little river right here. So in case you want some jungle temple loot, then this is obviously one of the easier places to get it at. And I've not quite mentioned this yet, but this jungle goes on a very, very long way. I have my render distance set at 40 chunks, but we still can't see the very edge of the jungle yet. So yeah, in case you want some very, very thick jungle biomes going hundreds, if not thousands of blocks, then I guess this is the seed for you. And it's also the seed for even more jungle temples here and there around the place. Like, it's kind of amazing how many there are when you can see them above ground instead of inside the jungle. And I've not quite mentioned this yet, but this jungle goes on a very, very long way. I have my render distance set at 40 chunks, but we still can't see the very edge of the jungle yet. So, yeah, in case you want some very, very thick jungle biomes going hundreds, if not thousands of blocks, then, I guess this is the seed for you. And it's also the seed for even more, jungle temples here and there around the place. Like, it's kind of amazing how many there are when you can see them above ground instead of inside the jungle. But then when you finally do manage to find yourself all the way at the very edge of this jungle, you are literally so far away from civilization that they had to build an entirely different type of civilization just over here. But if you're looking for civilization that's just a little bit closer to the spawn points, then have no fear, because there are some other types of villagers around here inside of this mega taiga biome, which also sprawls in all the way over there, pretty much right around where the start of the mesa and the jungle starts at. So that means you have a mega taiga, a jungle, and a mesa pretty much all spawning in the exact same place. But more to the point in this village, yeah, it's a dead village, of course. Like, you never really expect them to be this common, but yep, they are this common. But something that isn't quite as common is the stronghold that is below it, because yeah, heading yourself just the right the way down here, you find yourself this stronghold right here with the end portal room right here. But heading back on the surface, it's kind of interesting how the jungle is literally so big that it could go all the way around the mega taiga right here. So again, in case you want some really thick jungle biome, and a lot of it too, then this is probably the best place to do it at. Though I think even this seed, there's a little bit too much of it, but it's still an interesting type of a commodity to find. And heading in the opposite direction of spawn, you find this really big ocean, and a big enough ocean could almost definitely guarantee you having at least one of these things. Yeah, there is an ocean monument just seeing itself right here, and this one actually, for the most part, actually isn't too incredibly far from mainland. Ocean monuments, for the most part, try to spawn, I guess, pretty much in the middle of the ocean, but this one, for the most part, is only about 100 or 2 blocks away, so yeah, not too incredibly hard to maybe set yourself up and to drain this thing out. And there's 1 or 2 things I missed along the way when showing you this seed. First off, this above surface ruin, which is right here, which is always a fun and interesting type of thing to find. And something else that's interesting to find is ruin portals that just spawn like in the middle of the ocean. Like, this thing is not connected to anything at all, and as you can see, I have gone through and into the nether, and if you do go into the nether inside this one seed, inside that one ruin portal, then you get this type of particular spawn with a crimson forest and a warp forest right here. So in case you want even more types of wood variants, and this is probably the place to do it. But something else you might want to look into inside the seed is this bastion remnant, which is literally about 100, not even that, from your spawn. So yeah, more reasons to head into the nether, more reasons to look around this place, and more reasons to check out this one seed. And that entire loop we did takes us right back to the simplicity of spawn. But yeah, everything around spawn is literally very, very interesting to check out. Very, very unique types of generation and biomes around the place, unique types of structures that spawn inside of it, and plenty of other different things like that. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.